know about you, but, well, today's review here on films I should have talked about years ago just so happens to be probably one of the worst I've ever had in my hands. Because the next film on cue right here just so happens to be the so-called bad name make that I would never ever call bad in my entire life. No, it deserves way better than that. No. It's horrible! And if you're wanting to know what I'm talking about exactly, what a name make even is, well, Ghostbusters, Answer the Call. Like, really? Why do I have to talk about this now? Why do I have to talk about this now when I probably could have done way better time in my life? And wouldn't you know that I actually just found this in my own house on DVD? Like, what in the world? Who did this? Who brought this in here without me knowing? One of the worst possible feature films or motion pictures in the entire world is apparently in my possession now. And I now have to talk about it. Man, why do I have to do this? I really could talk about something even better. You know what though? I guess what's even better is the fact that, well, I've never, ever watched this film. Ever. Since it came out in theaters, I completely rejected it. For the right reasons. Millions of us are going to walk away from this film, pretend like it never happened, for a variety of good reasons, and only good reasons. But you know what, though? Sorry to say, but maybe I shouldn't have thrown that there, because I haven't even watched this one, so, well, Sony rewards. Grab the popcorn, grab the rewards. A better reward would be to not watch this movie. Gosh. Well, I guess it's time to, well, grab onto this thing and just prepare for myself. This might be the worst ride I've ever gotten to have in history. Well, I watched it, and I don't even know what to say about this one. But I will still go ahead to mention the fact that it's still garbage! My gosh! Why do I waste my time with this crap? Like, are people seriously gonna start recommending the worst garbage in the world? I guess I still have yet to hear anything about the fact that someone might want me to actually review something like Jiggly or worse. It's a whole boatload of garbage. Or even worse, it's a containment unit full of garbage. Ghostbusters Answer the Call, released in 2016, meant to act as a reboot to the Ghostbusters franchise, one of the most beloved, celebrated pieces of American culture we've ever had since 1984, and it completely did us in every possible way. It dashed every possible seed of hope and inspiration that we've ever had in our lives. Especially when you get down to the prior history about when they tried to make a third Ghostbusters film, but instead, the closest thing they had to it was the 2009 Ghostbusters video game, which does take place a few years after the second movie. And it does give us a lot of new insight on why it's meant to continue the story as if it was an actual third movie in the series. But when it came time to actually creating a third movie, whether it would have been just a duplication of the game itself, kind of like what happened with when The Incredibles 2 pretty much was Rise of the Underminer, the video game from 2005, and then 13 years later, The Incredibles 2 gave us a completely different sort of perspective on the battle between them and the Underminer. Completely different than what the game showed us back then. In this instance, though, it really would have been nice to have a real third Ghostbusters film that would have pretty much absolved every possible thing we could have ever had. Maybe it probably would have been wise to have a film out there that was a prerequisite to what Answer the Call gave us, just so we could finally find out if those four are really supposed to be the next true Ghostbusters after the other four. It really would have been nice to at least see Spengler, Venkman, Stantz, and Zedmore on screen one last time, played by their respected actors, and give us a good ending that would eventually lead to a next generation of Ghostbusters that would probably have to win us over at some point. It would have been great to have that. But in all the time that they've tried to make a third film, especially between the things going on with Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ivan Reitman, and many of the others that were the original partitions for the cast and crew of the first two films, everything pretty much just dumped all the way through. And then, of course, Answer the Call came by and completely flipped us off. They kicked us in the crotch, jabbed our eyeballs, slit our throats, gave us the Colombian necktie, and then just tapped on our forehead and made us fall backwards outside of a rolling train car in the Andes Mountains so we'd fall to our deaths. That's the kind of analogy right there that describes how bad this film is. But as I've said before, I am not like many other seekers out there. Ghostbusters Answer the Call is not at all a bad movie. I could tell you that. It sucks! So bad! Why did they do this to us? Why would you do this to us? Oh man, I'm so gonna freaking cry. This is how bad this is. Oh man. Oh my gosh. I feel like there's nothing in this entire world that can justify any of this. You're gonna have to watch the film for yourself. To know that I have a DVD of it is one thing. To know that I was finally able to watch it fully from start to finish is another. And let me tell you, so many other things out there make up for great reasons why it is such a horrible film in comparison to the other Ghostbusters entries. The video game was certainly better. It is in fact the official Part 3. Then of course you really gotta account for the real Ghostbusters, the animated series that ran from 1986 to 1991. Let's also not forget about many other things that have taken place. So you know what? You're probably wondering what one highlight of this film is. And you know what? I feel like I got it. There was the revamped theme song by Walk the Moon. Yes, Walk the Moon was behind Ray Parker Jr.'s theme song recreation. They made their own version of the Ghostbusters theme song for the movie. And you know what? I feel like I could get into that. Pretend nothing else was there. The theme song in this instance, it's certainly not like Ray Parker Jr.'s, but you know what? For a new generation of Ghostbusters fans, Walk the Moon did something right at least. If they would have done anything different to the Ghostbusters theme song, then that would have been it for me. I would have had nothing good to say about this. But you know what though? Walk the Moon's Ghostbusters theme song in comparison to Ray Parker Jr.'s theme song is doable and audible by any means. And the fact is, it's really been getting a lot of attention lately, especially because of the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife. So you know what? The timing is perfect. Again. I talked about the Suicide Squad, and now I'm talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. They're both going to be released at some point this year. So, again, the timing I feel like is perfect. Otherwise, the dreaded score. It's about time that I give this one a score indefinitely. I might as well go ahead and go out on a limb to say that this is quite possibly the worst reboot in history. Worse than Psycho 1998, worse than Child's Play 2019, worse than Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, worse than everything else. Man, what happened to our beloved American cinema? Like, what were they thinking back there? Columbia, you are terrible at this. I don't care how long ago it was, because we are never going to forget such a travesty like this. Man. I don't know if there will be yet another Ghostbusters reboot wannabe, but hey, only time will tell for sure. So you know what? The score I'm giving this one, 1.2 out of 10. 1.2. This is even lower than the majority that I've already given out. So you are so definitely welcome. Hardcore Ghostbusters fans worldwide need to know that this is the worst reboot we've ever had in history. Never could I lie about something like this, because I just went through the entire trouble of watching this on DVD for y'all's entertainment. So the best thing you can do right now is to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side if you're wanting to see more action about me talking about different films, good and bad, or maybe in between.